Tom Cotton to Merrick Garland. Thank God you're not on the Supreme Court.
You've cited as the basis for that directive the National School Board Association's letter of September 29th. Was that directive being prepared before September 29th, before the School Board Association letter was issued?
I don't believe so. Certainly I didn't have any idea.
So it was only prepared okay, I think that answers the question.
I already answered that question
So you keep citing the school board letter and news reports.
Right.
One of the news reports cited in that letter, which you presumably mean, is from Loudoun County, Virginia.
No, that is not what I was talking about.
Well, you keep citing news reports, and that's the most prominent news report that anyone in America has seen. That refers to Scott Smith, whose 15-year-old daughter was raped. She was raped in a bathroom by a boy wearing girls' clothes, and the Loudoun County School Board covered it up because it would have interfered with their transgendered policy during Pride Month. And that man, Scott Smith, because he went to a school board and tried to defend his daughter's rights, was condemned internationally. Do you apologize to Scott Smith and his 15-year-old daughter, Judge?
Senator, anyone whose child was raped is the most horrific crime I can imagine, and is certainly entitled and protected by the First Amendment to protest to their school board about this.
But he was cited by the School Board Association as a domestic terrorist, which we now know that letter and those reports were the basis for your...
Senator,
this is
that's wrong.
Shameful. Judge, this is shameful.
The news reports I'm talking about were not the news reports in that letter. They were other news reports that everybody here has heard about, subsequent reports that everybody has heard about. There is nothing in this memorandum, and I wish if senators were concerned about this, they would quote my words. This memorandum is not about parents being able to object in their school boards.
This testimony, your directive, your performance is shameful.
Okay, that's not correct.
Thank God you are not on the Supreme Court. You should resign in disgrace, Judge.
You know what? I thank God every day that Merrick Garland isn't on the Supreme Court. Instead, he's just ruining our country through Joe Biden. But what Tom Cotton from the amazing state of Arkansas, right? Is that where Tom Cotton's from? Well, I like him no matter what. He's a really smart lawyer, and feel free to write in the comments because right now it's escaping me exactly where Tom Cotton is from, but he is extremely smart, extremely on point. And if you didn't hear about this story in Loudoun County, which is Northern Virginia, it's right outside of the Beltway in Washington. So a lot of those people are dependent upon government money, government contractors, bureaucrats. So they're pretty woke. They did vote for a great Republican governor, though. But having said that, they have a transgender policy. And a boy dressed in girls' clothing had an incident where he raped a young girl in the bathroom. And they just moved him to another school, and then I believe he had another incident. Who are we protecting here? Remember when liberals used to say the future is female and believe all women? What in the fresh hell is happening here? Eventually it all came out because sunlight is the best disinfectant. But and I know, and everyone that reads about this story knows that this was a cover-up. This was an absolute cover-up. This wasn't reported. They just moved the boy around and allowed the behavior to perpetuate. And it's shameful because we should have the clarity and the rationality to realize boys with penises shouldn't be in girls' locker room. Well, I hope you can use that because this fucking dog